What's up, man? How's it going?
Good. I'm excited because I finally reached a milestone on my account. So everything's good in life. I just hit 50K,
That's
FYI.
bro. In the small account, I'm like so close to hitting. In the Webull account, I'm so close to hitting PT. It's not even funny. IPOF is sealing the deal for me today. It's awesome.
Only chaos, baby, taking over the world.
Speaking of the chaos and the chaos crew, I know that you have a question for me from one of our crew members. Why don't you hit me up with it?
All right. So Charlie's2369 asked a question that apparently everybody wants to know the answer to, which is how to make trading a full-time job.
Yeah, I mean, so you asked me this question before, but and everybody asked this question. I was able to do it, but it wasn't like something that just happened overnight. I think that, once you get consistent enough with your trading, then you got kind of really start to think about, can I do this as a full-time job? And I asked myself that question repeatedly before I actually ended up making the leap. And there's definitely a few things that I would consider making sure that you have together before you take that step, before you take that leap. I think that first and foremost, you got to be virtually debt-free. Don't have anything on the books. I will admittedly say that I still have student loan debt on the books, but I didn't have anything else. I didn't owe anybody anything. I didn't have credit cards outstanding, nothing. So that was definitely one thing that I had going for me. Also, I kept all of my other expenses really low, rent and everything, just because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't giving myself anything leaving anything to risk. I wanted to make sure that I was just minimizing it as much as possible. Kind of applied my real life to trading in a sense in that way. And really just having 6 months of expenses also saved up aside from my trading account. Just want that nice nest egg to make sure that I was going to have everything paid for the next 6 months. Was really kind of, just preparing myself for the best possible outcome without really having to worry about, scrambling around for everything.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, you did trade full time and that was your primary form of income, and you actually shifted away, and you still could do it if you wanted to, but you now own a couple businesses and you've kind of diversified. One of the things that I look at, because I have no interest in making trading my full-time income. So trading for me is about my retirement, my nest egg, and a revenue stream for investment opportunities. So I'm trying to build that up as big as I possibly can. But one of the things I think that's really important is if you want it to be your full-time job, you got to treat it like a business. Right. You're the CEO. You have to run the business. So like you said, make sure you have your expenses as low as humanly possible to ensure that the bar to get over is really low. What you said about debt was absolutely right. Why would you try to invest in the market and make money when you have a credit card that has a 20% APR?
Right.
You're better off just paying that off than trying to make 20+% in the market. And so those things are really important, and it's no different in business. The same things happen, like try to minimize your debt. Know your break even is the most important part. And so if you can establish a budget and know what number you have to get to, and offline, you talked about this a little bit, is you'll have your initial investment. Then you'll have a number that you need to cover your expenses, right? You got your nut that you have to cover.
Right.
But the point you made was you got to make more than that, because you can't just break even. You want to get beyond that. So speak to that a little bit.
Yeah. So, when you start trading full time, or when you're getting to that point to where you feel like you're starting to trade full time, I wanted to just back up a second and make sure that you guys understand, those of you who are watching, that it's not just like, oh, I had a fantastic month, I made this lump sum of money, and now I know that I can repeat this. Making sure that you have at least 6 months of consistent growth. I would even stretch it out to a year for most people, of just consistent growth and making enough income to not only just cover your expenses, but also making sure that you're still able to grow your account, not just that you're breaking even every month. I mean, that's kind of the goal when you're working your 9 to 5. You don't want to just break even every month, which sadly about 70% of Americans do. But the goal isn't to just continue down the rat race. You want to not only just make enough to pay your expenses, but also continue to make more than that so that you can continue to build your account and really build wealth. At the end of the day, I think most people are trying to build an account to potentially retire one day. You're not going to do that if you're just breaking even every month.
Yeah, absolutely. And that point's probably one of the bigger takeaways from this video. When I started my business, I was doing it as a side hustle, And my goal for myself was I'm not going to do it full time until I have, at the time it was like $60,000 in my bank account, which was a year's worth of expenses and a little bit of a cushion on that. And so the thought in my mind was, hey, if you want to turn this into a full-time business, you just need to grind and you need to hustle. It's no different. So I agree with you. I think setting that goal, establishing that benchmark and saying, hey, if I really want to get there, here's the number I need to hit. When I hit that number, then I feel comfortable jumping out and sort of doing this full time, if that's what you choose to do. One thing I wanted to say, I wanted to propose and take this in a little bit of a different direction.
Okay.
You could think about trading full time, or we've talked about, the average millionaire has, I think it's like 5 to 7 revenue streams. Yep. Let's talk about the angle of investing and creating other opportunities. And what if it doesn't have to be your full-time job?
Yeah, so I don't want to take away from anybody who does this as a full-time job, because I have plenty of friends in the trading community that do it as a full-time job, and they are just more than happy doing that all day long. For me, though, I think that it was like really kind of boring almost to just sit there and kind of play on a computer. Not that it's boring to make money. We love doing that. But I think for me, it wasn't quite as fulfilling. So not only was I trying to create multiple income revenue streams to build that wealth out, but, it was more of a fulfillment thing for me too. I love being on YouTube. You know that I love this part about, just filming and making sure I got my lighting right, all that good stuff. So it's definitely something that I'm passionate about. So I'm also doing something that I'm having fun with, but also creating more income streams, not only to just build that wealth, but also to provide myself with some insurance here. Because if trading and day trading was my only source of income, and something were to happen to me, I mean, God forbid I get in an accident, something like that, I can't trade. There's nobody else can do that for me. So, I wanted to be able to create passive streams of income so that if something should happen, God forbid, that I'm covered, that I'm okay. It's almost as if it's an insurance policy, and I can still make money while I sleep, even if it's not through trading.
Yeah, and when I look at it through a similar lens. And so for us, it's not about full-time job. We trade for freedom to make the decisions that we want to do, freedom to focus on what we want to focus on. And that's really what we've aspired to get to, right? Like, we want to be able to just travel the world, interview people, do our podcast, do the live stream, and not really have to worry about, hey, we got to pay this bill or pay that bill.
Right.
And so when it's interesting, as you get closer to that point, which I feel like we're getting closer to that point, you end up working more. I actually, when I moved, now trading is not my job, but I do it full time. I did it basically because of COVID. I lost all my clients, and I realized that as an entrepreneur, one of the things that was important to me was I wanted to be my own boss. And I realized that because I own my own company, I wasn't my own boss. I was beholden to my clients. So what trading offered me really was freedom. I'm not worried about another company's business, if it drives it, relationships with clients, any of that. The market does what the market's going to do, and it gives me freedom to focus on the things I want to focus on. And so again, I'm going to continue to try to build that up, and that's going to offer me freedom to invest in something else and leverage it, whether it's real estate, whether it's business opportunities, or whether it's just in myself. And so that's the one thing I think we're all going for. It's not a job, it's freedom. And, we're the same in that we'll always work.
Yeah.
But we want to work on the things we want to work on.
Exactly.
And hopefully trading gives us that opportunity.
Yeah, that's so true. Freedom is really, at the end of the day, what it all boils down to. And, the worst feeling in the world is feeling like you're an employee to your own company, and you've been there. You just kind of admitted that. I know that I've been there, and I hate feeling that way. So doing things that fulfill me, and really, just when it comes down to people who are watching, I love the fact that I can make positive impacts on people's lives every day, have a blast doing it, And what it really comes down to is that I have been able to use trading and investing to be able to support that and support all of my other expenses and bills and stuff like that. So I just can go do whatever I want and have fun and have a blast doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. So for you guys who are watching this that are interested in potentially going full time, those are some pointers for you guys. At the end of the day, I think it boils down to a couple things. Invest in yourself, which if you're watching your video, you're doing that.
Yes.
And honestly, just the confidence that you can do it. One of the big things about Own the Chaos and making it our mission to help you own the chaos is to realize that you are capable of doing it. It's not some pipe dream.
Right.
You have the ability to do it. You have to be disciplined, and hopefully those steps will get you along the way. And, if we're a part of that process, even better.
Bro, I couldn't have said it any better myself. Speaking of which, as far as our Chaos Crew members are concerned, if you guys are interested in being part of that, make sure you're clicking the links down in the description. You guys want to be a part of our Chaos Crew, become part of our community where we can learn and grow with each other. Then click the link in the description below. Become part of the Chaos Crew at ownthechaos.com. We'd love to have you guys over there.
Yeah, and comment below. Tell us what you're doing this for. What's your goal? What are you trying to get to with your trading? And sort of what are those expectations?
I love it, man. Leave a comment below. Let us know why you trade. That's going to do it for us. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.